Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Welcome to the Fall Guy review. Fall Guy came out on May 3rd, 2024. This is going to be a spoiler review of Fall Guy starring Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. I'm your host, Jedi Mike 7. I'm here with co-host Jay King. Jay King, how you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Ready to talk about this film, indeed.
Yeah, I had the privilege of watching this at Vegas at CinemaCon early before everyone else did, but this was unfinished, visual effects and certain scenes and everything like that. But yeah, you guys got to see the final product and everything. But this is the film Fall Guy, starring Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. And the premise reads as follow: After leaving the business 1 year earlier, Balsgard stuntman Severs springs uh, springs back into action when the star of a big studio movie suddenly disappears. As the mystery surrounds this missing actor, the missing actor deepens. Colt soon finds himself ensnared in a sinister plot that pushes him to the edge of a fall more dangerous than any stunt he ever done before. This is directed by David Lynch, or David Leitch, I believe. But
Lynch.
yeah, Lynch. Okay, all right. Make sure I'm pronouncing it right. But yeah, David Lynch, and we also have other characters. We have actor Winston Duke, and we also have Hannah Waddingham, and we also have Aaron Taylor Johnson, as well as others that you'll find out later in this film. But I just want to say, what was just your thoughts on this film before we kind of get into it?
Just overall thoughts. I mean, honestly, this was a really good story to tell and really highlights an aspect of Hollywood and filmmaking that not a lot of people talk about as much when it comes to like the stunt work, the people that really put their bodies into making a scene look as good as possible. You know, if an actor can't do a certain scene, they're the ones that partake in it, and just seeing that be represented, as well as just adding a bit of romance, action comedy with that, with Ryan Gosling, that it's always a fun time. It's always a fun time.
Yeah, this film I said is a love letter to stunt acting, and more particularly like the 80s and 90s stunt acting. Because those films like kind of gone away from cinema recently, last like probably like 20 years or so. Because of visual effects, CGI, and superhero, franchises and everything like that. But this goes back to the stunt acting 101, and also showing appreciation for stunt actors that have been kind of a crucial part in the filmmaking industry, but not really that knowledge now, more than ever, that they now starting to get more recognition. They Emily Blunt and actually Ryan Gosling made a little like announcement, or at least a dedication to stunt actors in the last Academy Awards this past year, and everything, which was definitely a promotion for this film. But yeah, I
Yeah, I think
definitely.
I think they were also like petitioning for stunts to get an award, like for it to actually
Yeah.
get recognized in a lot of these award shows. Like best stunts. For the stunt performers, which I think, yeah, that definitely needs to happen. I hope it definitely goes through.
Yeah, and what you see in this film, aside from that, there's a lot of stunt acting action scenes and everything that goes back to the core of what this film is about and everything. But I for me personally, like when I saw this in CinemaCon, I actually enjoyed it. I mean, I was happy, looking forward to watching the film and everything. But I did again enjoy the dynamic between Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. I do think they are a good duo. Ryan Gosling definitely just been having a great year, past year with Barbie and everything, as well as Emily Blunt as well, with Oppenheimer. But yeah, I do. Ryan Gosling is now coming. Is still going back to the definition of a movie star, right? More like the
Mhm.
Tom Cruise, because back in the day, you used to go to the Will Smith movie, you used to go to the Stallone movie, and you used to go to the Tom Cruise movie, right? Now it's like saying, "Oh, I'm going to the Ryan Gosling movie now," because just like you go in different genres now, and anything you see, oh, this is the Ryan Gosling movie. Um, and now we go see franchises, we see X-Men, and all that stuff like that, right? Um, but now I do appreciate this, what they're going back to. Not a lot, yes, visual effects are happening, but also going back to ground filmmaking and everything. This film, I do believe, is definitely comedic in terms of situations you have with Aaron Taylor Johnson as the lead actor, and then Ryan Gosling being his stuntman. That dynamic there. Also, just highlighting the the best and worst of the filmmaking industry. Again, the craziness, how people can be easily replaceable, be forgotten, and everything. And but yeah, I think also too, just dynamic also in the workplace too. When with two colleagues and everything that have a relationship and everything, what that does. But then when also this criminal type of the story gets through, especially. But yeah, I did like, definitely the Winston Duke in this film as a side character. I didn't know, I forgot he was in this movie, but this definitely was an ensemble of a film. But yeah, I did like that they were trying to again go back to, this is a dumb, not saying a dumb popcorn movie. This is film is not the greatest thing in the world. But I do think this is a good film to take out on a date or whatever. It's
Hmm.
it's cliche as you can be, but still entertaining as it could have, as it can be. Me
Right.
personally, and I feel like that's what we kind of need back in these movies where these are yes, genre based films, and every film's has a genre fit in its category, whatever, or multiple. But this is going to like non-franchise type of stuff, and just going back to root of, hey, let's just make a nice like rom-com or something, but action pack or action movie. And I actually appreciate what they were doing here uh in this film. But yeah, what was your thought?
I mean, yeah, again, same thing. It's just, a fun, movie. And again, it's not necessarily dumb. It's just, a fun ride with, action, mystery, romance, all the stuff that you would expect. That, frankly enough, the type of stuff that they were talking about in this film when it comes to the industry, people getting replaced, the type of shady business that goes along with that. All that stuff is like stuff that actually happens in the industry or had happened before in the industry. So again, it's like, yes, there's absurd stunts. Yes, it gets to the moment of like a chase scene, a la kind of Tom Cruise ish in a way, but it's still very much at the root of it all is an adventure story with a bit of romance and also just being a love letter to stunt people in general. Again, that's what I really liked. It's like it just felt genuine. Like all the connections in this movie felt genuine. There weren't any caricatures. It was more just normal people in their normal everyday life, just trying to get by when it comes to this type of job, just with a little sauce of mystery adventure going on with it.
Yeah, I because with this film, me personally, like I was watching it, first time stuff. One thing I do say probably is a criticism. I think they could shave at least 20 minutes of this movie. Now at the end with everything, especially some things were kind of getting a little more redundant and kind of like dragged on with like, okay, let's kind of wrap this up a little bit. Not saying it wasn't entertaining, it's just that I kept kind of getting like dragged on. Like, oh, this could be 20 minutes shaved. You know, my personal opinion with that. But again, I think this film definitely is kind it just I feel it's just one of the reasons why we go to the movies. We go for popcorn fun, we go for have some good laughs and everything, but also good action scenes and good choreographed scenes and everything like that. And I feel like to me this film felt like a breath of fresh air, and we're starting to see these certain films come out later half of last year, definitely in this year too. But I definitely enjoyed it. I know some people probably not gonna find it not kind of too not comedic or anything, or find like some of the jokes weren't funny to me. To me, it's like, again, this film was not trying to take itself too seriously, which I think that's the biggest thing, and I think that's okay for this type of film, right? But I definitely have to commend definitely the choreographs, Universal, definitely for I think the cinematographer, his name is Jonathan Sela. Jonathan Sela, yeah, he did a good job in terms of just the action scenes that were going through, and it's like situational humor, whereas like even the action scenes, there's still comedy in there, that's still being displayed and stuff like that. But
Right.
yeah, I think yeah, like the same thing like with Bad Boys and like type of action films like the Michael Bay action films back in like the early 2000s and stuff. I can
Hmm.
remember like Enemy of the State, I think with Will Smith. Really
Hmm.
love that film. But yeah, we really just don't see these films like this a lot as we should be, and I feel like that hopefully this film can spark, something, a renaissance, also bringing stunt actors back into the spotlight. And hopefully, like when the Academy Awards start acknowledging this in the industry, then hopefully we kind of like see a change. It's kind of like the same thing with motion capture. Um, acting with Andy Serkis and stuff like that. I think they were slowly trying to expand in terms of our aspect of appreciating film making itself instead of just like the IP, which I think that's the thing that we kind of get caught up in a lot. But yeah, Emily Blunt again. I think their dynamic and their relationship was good. I think Emily Blunt in a lot of different films again, she can definitely invest into her role completely to a point where hey, she takes it, she gives 100%. And
Mhm.
also I think she can does comedy very well. Which to me to this point, I think she hasn't proved me that she could do comedy. But I think the main important thing is that especially with Ryan Gosling and her Emily Blunt, that they're able to build off a dynamic very strong. And I feel like this film benefited with that when they're both on screen together. But yeah, I'm trying to see what out of 10 what rating you kind of give for this.
Hmm. I probably give this like an 8.5 out of 10. Again, it wasn't anything super spectacular, but I'd have to say that this was definitely a movie that I could watch multiple times. This was just a fun ride with some great characters, some great writing, some really well choreographed action scenes, and a great message too. So I again 8.5 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, my score would be lower, obviously. But yeah, I was like, I'll probably give this film a good like 7 out of 10. Only like because like again, well, my rating is that a 7 is like, hey, do I regret going to see this movie and think this was a good time and everything? Yeah. Is it the best thing in the world? No. Will you enjoy yourself? I believe you would if you go in with the intentions that you're not trying to expect Dune or Mad Max Fury Road, which I saw last night, or the Furiosa film.
Furiosa.
Yeah, Furiosa. But yeah, so like the big budget film, like blockbuster films, I would feel like this film is trying to be that, especially even though the action scenes are well choreographed. I think this is a film, just a good popcorn film you guys watch. Definitely make sure you guys check it out in theaters. Fall Guy, which is in theaters right now. But also, I just want to make sure you guys hit the notification bell on your way out. And make sure you guys subscribe to Jedi Mike 7 on YouTube. Our links and everything to our Instagram is in the description box below. But we'll see you guys in the next review. Peace.